Oh, that is.
I don't know any details. I don't know any details. Okay, let me start the pod. Let me start the pod. Then you can tell me. Hello and welcome into the Section 109 podcast. Here from Studio Breezy, we have the full complement. We have Sir Mix-a-Lot. We have Toby, who has picked up a very odd position next to Jim, but seems to be not moving. Even though his ears have been pinned back for 5 minutes, he hasn't moved. He seems to be mostly happy.
He's an overlapping right dog.
I wish I had a boo button. We'll do that one. Bobble Juan, the GOAT, Coach Bobble Juan, and Matthew, Jim, boys. We like all the things that podcasters normally like, especially subscribes. If you would be willing to subscribe, we would absolutely adore that. And outside of that, I believe you guys might have a That's So Nisa moment for me. Or maybe two, as you started to tell me things and we started the podcast. Because this is my new favorite part.
What were you saying?
You go first with that one.
There's a supporters...
Yeah, so it's kind of
It's obviously not so Nisa for the record. If anything involving a supporters group, come on.
Well, I mean, it's back to rodeo. Was it rodeo SC or FC? I don't know. SC soccer.
None of that communist football shit in here, buddy.
But they announced the name. They announced the name of their supporters group. What would you guess is the name of a supporters group for a club named Rodeo? It's just right there.
There are riders in rodeos.
Yeah.
There are bulls. There are steers or steers. Wranglers. Cowboys feels like it's right there.
Cowboys. No, well, there's
no way they did clowns.
There's also clowns.
There's no way they did clowns.
Wranglers, but the supporters group has a uniform and they wear jeans every week.
They wear the Canadian tuxedo.
They didn't go with clowns.
Rodeo Clowns is the name of the supporters group.
This is the front office founded supporters group, right?
Well, I have no idea. Well, remember, this is the same team as was Texoma. Mm-hmm. So it's the same group. It's the same fans. Texoma is now League Two. I still don't understand.
Wouldn't their owner?
It's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean,
they took a League One franchise.
What they did, but it's hard to understand why.
Oh, I know. That's the easy part. They took a League One franchise that was owned by 3 people.
Oh, that's right.
And they said, we are going to fold that League One franchise owned by 3 people, and we will start a new League One franchise that is a different organization.
Yeah, they Benno'd him.
That is owned by 2 people, and specifically cut out the one person they fired back in June or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
So wouldn't they just call their front office clowns and not themselves clowns?
I think you would call the ownership clowns.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is.
I'm waiting for their merch though. That should be fun.
If it's good enough, I might get
a scarf.
I might if I get a sticker.
You got to
put
get
it on
quickly because I'm not sure they're going to be around long.
I was going to say
one season is the shelf life.
I think we all just got to wait for when those 2 owners turn on one another.
Yeah.
And they both try to start North Texas area League One teams using the same franchise.
Yeah. Well, one of them can have Texoma and one of them can have Rodeo.
This is so beautiful and so League One. Mm-hmm. Do you want to save the other one, or do you want to go ahead and tell me now the other one?
Let's save the other one because it's just rumor at this point.
Okay, deal. Even better.
And you gotta stretch out. You got to stretch out the League One chaos a little bit. So,
well, I think this podcast might just do That's So Nisa with League One almost every week, since they are the spiritual successor to Nisa.
100%.
I mean, is hiring a general manager halfway through the season and then listing the same position before the season ends?
Amigo, I need you to be a little bit more specific. When you say halfway through the season, you mean September 30.
Well. Okay, 3/4 went through the season, 80% through the season.
It was like 3.3 Scaramucci's.
How many? You beat me to it.
Oh my!
I don't even know if that's his name.
We have a new metric of time.
We do. We did get a new metric of time back in whatever year that was, 100 years ago.
That is beautiful. But we are not just here to talk about.
I saw the job on Indeed. If anyone's looking for it, I can send them the link.
Okay, if you would like to, if any of you would like the link, Jim will send you the link to probably the worst job in professional sports. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, we have a bunch of analytics to go over. Now, I want to preface before we start this that
you have your glasses just like in your pocket that you're waiting to pull out, so you can push them up.
I would like to say
pocket protector.
I would like to remind everyone, including us, and in particular us, before we start, we finished with a home playoff game.
I like where this is going.
Yes, we did.
We finished with a home playoff game in 4th place.
Technically, I like where this went because.
We were very, very good in results on the field. If you're a player, a coach, or a family of a player or a coach, do not fucking watch this podcast.
Turn this off now.
For 2/3 of the season, we were good. We had good.
The first third and the last third.
Yes.
We got beat by a better team in the playoffs. I have no issues with how our season went, and we have no issues, I think, with how our season went.
We picked a lousy time to pick the first time to lose to them, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But when you start doing the spreadsheets,
which we all know soccer is played on the spreadsheets.
Yes. Absolutely. First of all, we're just 3 big dumb idiots. He's not even big. He's just dumb. And so, like, this is going to be potentially, and we're going to try to stay positive, but like a pretty sobering look at some of the underlying statistics.
A negative times a negative
makes a positive.
It's a positive.
So we're going to talk about how some people have been cooking some books. We're going to talk about things that went well, why we think some things went well, some things that may have gone poorly. But anyway, I want to preface that with, we love you guys. We are so excited with how well things went. But we want to look at an analytical review of the season. And I'll start with some pure truths right now. We had 41% possession on the season.
Yeah.
Our opponents had 59.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
That is how that works.
That is a reduction of 14%
from last year.
Possession from last year.
We should have taken some more from last year. We scored 42 goals.
Love scoring goals.
Our opponents scored 36 goals. That is a goal difference of 6.
Mm-hmm.
That is decent. When I say decent, it is enough to get us 4th place.
If you look at the goal difference chart, the goal difference standings, I think that's good enough for 6th.
Yeah.
So those are some objective facts before we get into this of some good things. Now we, gentlemen, as we go into this, have 2 different sets of data. I really, really, really wish we had a 3rd set of data because 3 data points would be more interesting. One of these data points is interesting because I think it might be pure propaganda. Because I don't know how else to explain it. But it also
one person who's not coming on the pod anymore.
But it also, I wish he could be here to explain himself. It also kind of aligns with reality, which really fucks with my head.
Yeah, the problem is there's something there.
I think one of these might be a post-game expected goals model, and one of them might be a shot-based expected model.
I don't even think we should refer to the club's model as an expected goals model because I don't think it is.
Why don't you explain that to me, please? Then let's also talk about before that, Jim, will you explain what expected goals are for the non-turbo nerds in this group?
Sure. Expected goals is simply measuring the quality of the shot or chance. So it takes, depending on the model, it takes a lot of variables into account. It takes where the shot was taken from on the pitch, an XY kind of location. It takes occasionally sometimes how the ball got to the person. So if it was a cross, if it was a pass, if it was a ball played through, it takes sometimes into account whether other defenders are around, where the shot was taken from, whether left, right foot, or head. So those are some of the things, and then it takes all that, spits it into a model, and determines kind of a percentage of similar shots taken from that place in those circumstances. What percentage would be scored? So if a shot has a 0.05 XG, you would expect about 5% of the shots from area
in that situation,
in
that
that
area.
situation,
in
to
a
be
similar
scored.
situation.
Yeah, and so you add those up. Really, this is where the statistics, the stats gets a little wonky if you really like math, because you're adding averages to get an average, and that doesn't really make sense. But you add them up, and it gives you kind of an overall expected goals for the game. So if you have 20 shots and they average 0.05, then you're going to get 1 or 2. What is that?
Should be 1. 5 times 20.
Should be 1.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah, so a lot of games.
And so you look compared to the team scored 2 goals, but they had an overall expected goal of 1.
Let me pick out a random game in here to give an example.
And let's just say if you got 10 of those shots on target, you're like, wow, we got 20 shots and 10 of them are on target. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
But if they all
each
average
chance was
0.05,
5%. Like, oh, that's actually not that good.
yeah, and I would say a 0.05 shot is something that would be right around the box, like right outside the 18.
Oh, let me give an example of a game that we all might remember. The second game against Huntsville, our first Huntsville game, the second game of the season against Huntsville, when we scored super early, and then we were just under it for about 87 minutes. And everyone
and whatever stoppage time there was, as I recall.
I was just trying to give us a little bit of credit. So the Opta expected goals said that we 0.6 is what we generated, which mostly means that one chance we had was really, really big, and then I think we probably had like one other half chance as well. Now, a half chance in our parlance might be just like a decent chance, but it really wasn't that great. And then a big chance might only be scored 40% of the time. That's a pretty big chance.
I think Opta is 0.3. I think it's 0.3. You think above 0.3 is a big chance?
I'm not sure, but that makes sense. So that means if 30% of the time or more that shot gets scored, that's a big chance, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So there is no, there are very few chances that are 70, 80, 90%. Those are like tap-ins.
Tap-ins or penalties.
Or penalties, yeah. Penalties, though, are only about 80%, right?
70,
Yeah, depends on the model. Sometimes 76, sometimes 75, sometimes 79.
So in that Huntsville game, our expected goals for that Opta said we should have is 0.6. Our Opta expected goals against that they think we should have conceded on an aggregate, adding up all the chances, was 2.08.
Yeah, that's an ass kicking.
That's an ass kicking
on the pitch.
Now we won that game 1-0. Let's not forget. Now here's where it gets interesting. Chris's expected goals has us at 0.75, 0.6, 0.75. Those are within the same.
Yeah.
Opta against has us 2.08, and Chris has us 1.25. Now there's a big difference between 2.08 and 1.25, and I would like Matthew now to explain why Chris's model. So since I've been a jerk so far,
Are we just spreading this around?
I was going to ask you to explain why it's not, why it might not be called an expected goals model so much as.
Yeah, so let's caveat this by saying that
because we have not had him on here to defend himself.
We don't actually know everything that makes up the CFC model for how they do what they publish in the game reports as expected goals. We do know that from some conversations that I have had, that the model takes into account more things than a traditional expected goals model. We know that model is in part tailored to us. And we know that I believe there is some post shot involved in it. I think
it would make a lot of sense if there were some post shot in it.
It also rates. I think it rates for individuals, including Eldon, as the goalkeeper, which I think affects certain things. And as we talk about all of this, I think you will see a merging of the CFC model, expected goals model, which is an orange, to be clear, and the Opta models, which are more traditional apples. If you start applying some variables and some deeper level understanding to it, I don't really think the CFC model is honestly worth talking about right now. I think we should stick to the public model, which is a more traditional model, because it's so different, number one, and we don't fully understand how all the things that make it up.
Yeah.
But
that makes
if you go look at it at the conclusions, the end totals, you'll end up with what I believe is, if you include the for and the against, I believe you come up right around a full goal of difference.
It's 0.98
between
per
them.
game. About a half a goal
overall for the entire season.
Yeah, average per game. It's about a half goal better for us, or it says we should score about a half goal more per game and concede about a half goal less.
Oh, you mean the comparing the two models?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
That is such a big number that
but it makes some sense if he somehow favors, like, let's say there's a coefficient where he favors shots that are on target, and so that so that may be because in a traditional XG model doesn't care where the ball goes once it's been hit.
It's just the second it's impacted.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's where it is, and that's it. Doesn't matter if we're cheering about how
high over the crossbar.
Do they need? Yeah. If we're singing over the rainbow, doesn't matter where it goes. And he may be adjusting a little bit for a goal that either is on frame or is what he would consider to be somewhere close where a keeper would need to be concerned about it.
It seems to me that
that would make some sense.
But
if you're really using it for
really internal stuff. A lot of teams in this business have their own tuned models. It is rare that we get I think it's just rare in the world of professional soccer that fans get a glimpse into the internal model.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens at all. Everyone pretty much just relies on the public models.
Opta.
And when you get past Next Pro to like the MLS level and talk about like Europe's Big Five leagues and et cetera, then you start having, it's not just the Opta model that's available. You've got a bunch of different models that are available. And so you just get more data sources.
that's why I said I really wish we had a third data source here.
Nah, Opta's good. I mean, Opta is what
I could pull up something called. There's some gambling thing somewhere that has their own XG model. Yeah. I don't know if they're cribbing from somebody's or with some. Probably they're cribbing from somebody's, some other partnership. I do know it's not Opta's though. I started looking at that last year before I realized that ASA was posting game reports and had all that data available through Opta's data. So like, yeah, we should stay away from the orange model. Is now what I'm calling it, and stick to the apples
and
model.
oranges. Well, I will say before we
will try to have certain technical people at CFC on the podcast.
Oh, I would love to hear him.
So we can ask him,
grill them.
So I can ask him why he was cooking the books, because there is smoke coming out of the books, billowing right now from the cooking that was done. Actually, before we get off this, his model, Chris's model, does more accurately reflect the results that we had. I don't know if that is truly, all jokes aside, revisionist, meaning he looked at the end of the game and went, blew, the wind blew this way, here's that. Or if I suspect that's not it. Again, all jokes aside, I suspect that they have a particular type of shot that they believe Eldon's just going to save every time, a particular type of shot that we can block more often, a particular type of chance. Now, what I don't understand is his offensive numbers, which says that we should have been considerably better. And I watched the games. And while I would have liked us to do better, I think we did pretty good offensively. That's an interesting one. But yeah, we can ignore that. But I will say, I do think if without Chris being here, if he was to defend himself, and I don't know what he'd say, but I think he might point like, look how we did. My model's pretty close to that. His model's actually more, it thinks we underperformed offensively overall. And it does think we overperformed slightly on the defensive side. Overperformed meaning we made good plays.
As we talk through this podcast, I think I can get us to a pretty close on that defensive overperformance. Like I think I can explain a way to get some things closer to those numbers are merging pretty well. I don't think I can explain the offensive side.
When it's spelled Eldin, Eldin,
Yeah.
Eldin, and Eldon was his name. Oh,
Yeah, I think that's a large
do.
portion.
I think it's the vast majority. Okay, let's get started here, boys. Where do you want to start?
I think we need to go back to the Apples model. And I think we need to look at how the Apples fell at the end of the season in the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Because you laid it out already in terms of this is how many goals we scored, this is how many goals we gave up, this was our expected, or this was our goal difference, this is our standings place.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about what I think a lot of people felt during the season, and then we all just stopped caring about that because happiness happened more often than not.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So,
Yes, the happiness metric.
if you,
By the way, I was very happy with the season.
Yes, yeah.
if you are listening to this
Vibes plus.
and you want to get
Plus.
mad at me for what I say, remember this is Opta's fault, not mine.
Also, let me give a little thing too. I'm not sure if I'm assuming Opta uses not a person to watch each one of these MLS Next Pro games.
No, they do. I bet.
Even better then. Not everyone is created equal. And I have looked at some. There was a game against Atlanta in this season where they gave Atlanta credit for 6 or 7 big chances. I watched that game. I watched the highlights of that game. They were headers on balls that were like difficult to get to. That were like there was not 6 big chances in the game.
Wow,
there
you
is
really
some
cleaned this up.
room for human error in the Opta is all. Now, once you get out over a season, it's going to mostly even itself out. But I do want to point out there is some chance for human error, and the lower we go down the pyramid, the less chance we have a highly trained,
I think
highly paid.
the error would be, that they're overestimating the XG for the shot.
That's what I think.
Because I think big chances are simply how many shots are over 0.3.
Right, but if you're giving something a 0.3, and it's very clearly from my how many headers are over 0.3?
I mean, it would have to be
Inside the 6?
yeah.
Unmarked, and these were not unmarked headers.
No, I don't know if they have to be unmarked.
But to get over a 0.3, a lot of headers go wide, man.
Again, it doesn't matter where they go after you. I mean,
No, but I'm saying like when you
percentage
do
wise,
percentage-wise, a lot of headers go wide, meaning like it happens a lot. Therefore, the percentage-wise is going to be lower.
If you're meeting across and you're at the far post and you're hitting it into the corner, you would expect somebody to hit. I mean, you're right. 30 is probably high.
I'm just saying
25% of those.
This game that I watched, they had like 6 big chances listed.
Yeah.
At least 4 of them had to be.
It could be 0.2. I just don't remember what Opta.
It's my belief that there's some human error involved in some of this.
Yeah, I mean, you've got. I mean, I've tried for a long time to kind of figure out how Opta, because they've got to be watching. They're watching replays of the game. But they get them out so quick. I know they're very good at what they do. They get them out so quickly. I mean, it's got to be somebody who's sitting there watching and scoring as it goes along.
I know that Y Scout has a whole crew of Eastern Europeans that are doing.
They've got to be. They've got like.
I assume
keyboards
Opta does
that
as
are
well.
that they code as they kind of.
I have one thing before we get going here. How does Tate in this table? This won't mean anything to the listeners or viewers, but how does Tate in this table have a higher cumulative non-penalty XG per 96, or just a higher cumulative non-penalty XG than a regular cumulative XG?
He did the 0.07 times 0.96
That is
divided by 0.96.
No, that's not how you. I thought I deleted that.
Nope, it's still there.
Oh, that's because that's wrong. I did the math wrong. You have to do the ratio.
That's got to be by number of games.
I'll
got to be
go.
not by number of games.
I'll go.
It's going to be this
I need a little
times.
piece of paper.
How many games did
I'll,
they play?
I'll just go
How many-
into the. I'll just go into the thing.
It's not necessary.
That's 29 games, right?
No, because you need
28.
It's 2.03.
You want to do it by minutes, not by games.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't sub out in a single game. So
Yes,
all
he-
of those are starts.
Yes, he did.
But you're doing it by, okay, you're doing a ratio. You're doing number over 96 equals number over how many minutes?
Yeah, that's not going to work.
It's algebra.
Right, I'm out of high school.
He
I don't remember what
play.
it was.
He didn't play in an entire game once,
And then he came in
and-
at halftime in another game.
and I think it was later than halftime, but there was a couple subs. Like
Right.
it's fine.
That part doesn't matter.
I will fix
Okay, let's talk through
the Eastern Conference.
the
table.
Eastern Conference expected goals table. So an expected goals table,
Let's not, I don't want to look at that.
well, it doesn't matter. The real table had us in fourth.
Right.
An expected goals table, generally speaking, it functions like this. You take the expected goal difference, meaning the expected goals allowed or expected goals against average, what it's supposed to be, where you think it's going to be, and then the expected goals expected goals for, expected goals against.
Yes.
And you take the difference in those, and then you order that, because that should tell you ballpark who the best teams were. But sometimes ball doesn't go in. As an example, the Huntsville City, if the expected goals table had been accurate, would have finished first. But they played us 3 times.
Believe it or not, if you take out the 3 Huntsville versus CFC games, and you take out the astronomical number of expected goals, both for and conceded in those 3 games in the regular season for Huntsville, and you just gave Huntsville a number based on the 25 other games they played versus Philadelphia's 28 games, Huntsville would still win the expected goal difference Eastern Conference.
I did a fun.
There's a reason why this podcast was like, yeah, that's the best team in the league.
Yeah, they were.
Except they could beat Philly in the playoffs and they couldn't beat us in the regular season.
Yeah.
So
That's soccer.
So if the table had been organized by expected goals and not by real goals, Huntsville would have come in first. The West doesn't count. Huntsville would have come in first. Philly would have come in second. Revs would have come in third.
Yeah.
Red Bulls would have come in fourth.
By the way, who won the Eastern Conference and then went on to win the
whole thing.
MLS Pro Cup?
Atlanta United,
Yep.
Kennesaw United would have been in fifth.
They finished 10th.
Carolina Core,
Who finished 8th?
sixth. Seventh for Toronto.
Who finished 11th? No, they finished 9th.
Chicago Fire, eighth.
Who finished 5th?
Crown Legacy, ninth.
God, they were like 12th or something.
New York City FC, 2.
I'm just going to make this up, but they were around 11th or 10th.
FC Cincinnati, 11th.
Who finished in
yeah.
7th.
Columbus Crew finished in 12th.
And they were DFL.
They were, I think, 14th.
No, they were DFL.
Oh, they're dead fucking last. Hell yeah. Orlando City, 13th.
Yeah, they're somewhere in the 10 to 12 range.
Us, 14th. And Inter Miami, 15th.
Who finished 14th?
So our expected goal difference was negative 18 goals.
Negative 18.39.
Yeah.
Now, our actual goal difference was 6 on the positive.
Positive.
Large delta.
Boys, let's talk.
That's such a big a delta. There may as well be a hub here in Chattanooga.
Boo.
And no other difference between actual goal difference and expected goal difference it comes close to ours.
Well, it turns out. Oh, yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing explains. Yes.
We're an outlier.
Inter Miami is the outlier of the very worst team, which is crazy because we took a player that couldn't get minutes for them, and he was just an instant starter for us. Which tells you some of these teams don't judge talent very well.
Or have other goals.
Yeah, they've got other things they're thinking about.
So our goal difference was negative 18 expected goal difference. Our actual goal difference was 6 positive. Again, we finished in fucking 4th place.
But what was Inter Miami's actual goal difference?
Great question.
Their actual goal difference
Yeah.
on the field,
Yeah, wasn't
minus 33.
Yeah. So, and their expected goal difference
Negative
was
27.
Yeah. So they're actually
Worse.
they actually performed
Much
They
closer
They finished
to
worse.
there.
closer. So, like, if you took positive 6, the difference between
We're the outlier.
Oh my God, it's not even close. I mean, it's like
Actually, I'll tell you what it is. In terms
just-
of the goal difference compared to expected goal difference, that gap, we hit 21.39 goals of separation between the two.
Yeah.
That is, believe it or not like insanely more than second place.
That's not true. 18 to positive 6 is 24 and change.
If you're still awake,
This is
I'd like to go ahead. How long has it been? How long have we been talking?
33 minutes.
If you're still awake, I applaud you. I'll just go ahead and say that.
Yeah. If you're
So-
listening
so
to this
this
podcast,
is-
you are deep in the dumbs with us.
there are 3 goals that are not getting counted in this ASA table, and that's what that difference is.
Yes. Matthew and I made the decision to count because they don't count own goals in I don't,
And
the
there's
actual-
there's a data error going on
yeah.
here too.
Yeah.
There's both.
In regards to Tate's goal at Atlanta
Oh.
in March,
Yeah.
which was classified
Funny,
as a
Opta probably doesn't do a lot of
retrospective.
thinking about
yeah.
unless that's
So I the 20 is 24. We just made the decision to keep own goals. If you force an own goal, like let it count. Who cares? I don't want to try to parse out and be like, oh, that doesn't count as a whatever. Like I don't know didn't know if it came off a shot, like whatever else.
They are consistent about this, by the way, because I just looked up Chicago scored 69 goals on the year, and they're
Nice.
and they're given credit for 66 in this table. So Chicago,
Funny number.
so Chicago here is at 17.53. So they're still essentially four goals back on their
Interesting.
difference.
So they were. That's shockingly close to
It
us
is.
though.
Yeah, I didn't think anybody was that close. Who was that? Columbus?
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Give me another one.
Cincinnati was at 15.81.
Yeah, I didn't think there was anybody within 10 of us.
They're
But it's been a minute since.
there's
Clearly, it's been a minute since I've
nobody
looked.
else is within
15.81 is like 9 goals difference.
So
the
I
Chicago
mentioned
one is
CFC,
yeah.
Chicago, Cincinnati. You have to go all the way to Philadelphia at 1.52.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's more what I remembered. But I didn't remember we had 2 bedfellows down there.
so
So like if you think about this, Cincinnati in 11th, right? And they finish in 7th. Well, they're on that list for a big difference right there.
Are you going to talk about that?
Chicago in 8th,
Maybe.
and they finish in 5th.
Yeah, yeah.
So, no, they finish in 6th. Like big difference there. So it makes sense they rise up a little bit. We are the wild one here, though, because we go all the way from 14th to 4th.
Yeah, it's really is. I mean, I think we're going to get to. We think there are some reasons why.
ELDIN ELDIN.
So I think so. Let's talk about
But
this.
offensively,
So the offense
we've got questions. We've got questions that need to be answered.
we do, but also offensively wasn't as crazy as defensively
In this model,
in their model. So in the difference
in the Apple model,
in the Opta model, you can call it the Apple model if you want. It's fine.
What's our rank in like goals for? Where were we in like the goals for table?
the real one, or
Yeah, the real one, not XG.
42. We were at 42. What did they have? What is next?
How many?
we were in. Oh, it's funny. It doesn't actually translate that. So that's 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10th.
10th.
We're 10th in goals for.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
saying we don't need to score more goals. I would love to score more goals. Matthew and I had a long conversation this morning actually about like roster building and signing and like
And we
what
were-
we would like love to see.
And we were 3rd in goals allowed.
Right. Yeah. You only get away with being 10th
agreed.
if you can turn around and do the deed on defense.
But I want to point out we have Opta says we should have allowed or we should have scored 35. We scored 42.
yeah.
that is a difference. Yes, that is overperformance, quote unquote. Yes. Yeah. But the level of overperformance between 53 and 36, which is the other, what we should have allowed 53, what we actually allowed 36.
It's 2.5 times more.
Yeah.
And
we made up for our offensive issues with a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, so let's talk about the reasons that that model might have not come true. What's one reason it can't? Luck. I'm just naming some reasons.
Sure.
Name me some reasons.
Just lack of finishing on our opponent's part.
Can happen. I'm not. We're not talking about what did happen yet. We're talking about what could have happened. Luck is a factor. What's another factor that could happen? Extraordinary goalkeeping.
I mean,
yeah.
Extraordinary goalkeeping reputation.
Extraordinary goalkeeping reputation. Guys being scared of I'm going to have to put this perfect. What else? What else could explain a big goal difference? Expected goal difference.
Block shots.
So start to have a little bit of a picture here, and we have some statistical stuff to back it up. Been saying a lot of stuff about Eldon. Toby.
See, Toby wants. It's been like 35 minutes.
Toby's done.
Toby's like, I've had enough of this.
This malarkey. Come on, Toby. Come on, buddy. So we have. I think the number one factor, which we'll get to, is Eldon. But let's talk about the luck factor.
There's an interesting other factor here that I think we should talk about before we talk about Eldon, and that is when you look at the pre-shot expected goals Opta model and the post-shot expected goals Opta model. In games against our teams put on target, not just on target, the difference between the post-shot and the pre-shot expected goals was 10%. Teams were running 90% against us this season. 90% of the they had a 90% figure for post-shot expected goals.
So basically,
compared to pre-shot.
Yes. So to make that into easy to understand English, because I was struggling with figuring out this out earlier. If you take our XG, which is 53 against, that says 53.6, so actually almost 54. They only put 47 XG worth on target. Went from 54 to 47. It's about 90% of. So they lost 10% of XG in shots off target, or here's what I think was more of it than anything else: blocked.
So the 47 is the post shot XG?
Yes.
Okay.
If you watched the games, which we all did, and there's a thing you might have noticed, which was it felt like we blocked an extraordinary number of chances, in part because we allowed a ton of chances. But
a ton of shots.
Ton of shots. Yes, you're right. Sorry. Ton of shots would be a much better way to describe that. Mixie. Buddy. He's got a little allergies right now. So
he's been listening to us
for far too long.
40 minutes.
So actually, for almost exactly 40 minutes. So there's a pretty good statistical argument that between blocks and forced shots wide, which also could be related to goalkeeper, could be related to player in the way where they're trying to bend it around, whatever else, about 10% less shots ended up on target than you would expect out of a regular expected goals model. About 10% of shots were off target.
Yeah.
Probably likely the first thing that I think explains the difference in expected goals that we've witnessed is our propensity for forcing shots that we were able to block. I think that from my eye test comes in two ways. Number one, we had a lot of bodies back. We were disciplined this year, and we relished in a very positive way defending and being tough to break down. Look at how we played against Huntsville, and obviously some of that was game stakes. We scored early, but they would be waves of pressure, but we had everyone behind the ball, and we very often blocked the shot.
Yeah.
In those games and in other games. The other thing is, I think...
Do we have block shot? Do we have the block shot numbers?
We don't have...
Like cumulative
team blocks.
We do have our blocks, which is
individual.
fun to look at, but unhelpful if you don't have everybody else's number of block shots.
Yeah.
But for my eye test says Fareed and Nathan Kohler blocked, and I think the technical term is an assload of shots.
Yeah, we blocked a lot of shots.
And I believe, back to Matthew's reputation point he started to make earlier, I think Eldon's reputation of being the brick wall that he was, I think caused guys to try to second guess or be perfect in some moments, and also caused a few put it wide options. These are soft ideas. Now we're getting into like non-statistical explanations
I think it makes some sense that if you got guys who would normally, like, you're lining up a shot outside the box, maybe in another game you would have taken that shot, but in this game you're like, no, we scouted this keeper. The gaffer says we've got to make the extra pass before we got to take a better shot.
Or so, 2 plays ago, I got 1-on-1 and he read me like a book. I'm gonna have to do something special to beat this guy.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I could see that playing into, how they attacked our defense.
Blocks would have been a really good one to
pull out for
tally
all
up.
of this.
And like we could do it because each game has blocks totaled.
It would just be a hell of a lot of work to go through and get every game for everybody. But if somebody wants to do the whole, actually, if somebody's smarter than us and has the ability to make a scraper that can go through and scrape all the data and like pull blocks from every game and like organize it, that'd be fucking dope.
Well, I'd be pretty, because I didn't watch a lot of other games, but I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'd be going out on too much of a limb to say that we probably blocked more shots than anybody else in the league.
We conceded more shots than anyone
Would
else
you
in the
say
league.
that last year as well?
I don't remember as many blocked last year, but
I don't either.
So I in my Google search looking for if there was anything that would just stand out for the blocks discussion, I found an article from CFC last summer, and we had the highest number of block shots at that point in the season per match.
Yeah, last year
than anyone else in the league at 3.5.
That's a lot of block.
That's how many Fareed averaged per game this year.
So like
Yeah.
there's something to that, right?
Yes, but
So that takes-
that is not intentional. That is not intentional.
It is player. It is.
I
Hold
don't
on,
think.
this is gonna be fun. When you say this is not intentional, what do you mean?
I don't think Chris lines us up to block shots. You don't line up a defense to yield. Like, hey, I have a great idea. We're going to let them take double the shots we've got, and we're just going to position ourselves to block them. That is not.
Can I give you a counterpoint?
That is not a defensive thing.
I have a way to
Can I
change
give-
what you
can
said.
I give
That's
you-
interesting.
Do you
Go
want
ahead.
to?
I don't know if you're going to do the same thing as me.
Can I give you the counterpoint then?
Yeah, you can give me the counterpoint.
What if we were going to give up those shots no matter what we did? So why not have more bodies back to be able to better block them?
Oh, interesting. I wasn't going to go there.
Well,
Here's the thought. You do have some control in defensive positioning and the way you choose to defend, in forcing different types of shots, right? Opening up certain angles, pushing wide. You know, like you see guys are like push them wide, push them wide, push them wide, right?
Yeah.
I think there is something to two pieces of this. One, I think that in Fareed in particular, that is Captain Fareed right now, and vice captain Fareed, but captain all year. I think you have a player that has a particular ability, from my eye test, to block shots. The amount of times he would step to somebody else's marker and block the shot, I think it's a particular thing. I would not be surprised if they chose to give up we're giving up too many shots, but try to give up angles of shots that were that we thought were better for Eldon. Force them to the side, force them to whatever. And or I think when you choose certain players who are very good at blocking shots and you have a lot of guys back, I think you just end up also blocking a lot more shots.
Yeah,
What if I told you guys?
I think that's outcomes based. I mean, that's just like, we must be planning to block a lot of shots because we blocked a lot for 2 years in a row. Not crap. Our defense because the best way to play defense is to prevent a shot, and I don't think we cannot be playing to give up twice as many shots.
For sure.
That cannot be the game plan.
I do think we looked at the personnel we had and went, okay, how are we the most successful with this personnel? And one of those ways is to make sure you block the shots you can and force them to be shots that we like as best you possibly can. And I think for whatever reason, the personnel, in particular Nathan and Fareed, just block a lot of shots. And part of it is a lot of bodies back. A lot of bodies back means you have more bodies that they're shooting through. I don't think we wanted to concede more shots than everyone else. I think that was because...
Listen, you've got me at we probably are funneling people to areas where we want them to take shots. Like, I can totally see that.
We also did a lot of funneling to areas where we didn't want them to take shots.
Matthew?
But I think that many blocks for me, a block is last ditch defending to me.
What if it was the whole plan?
I don't believe it. I don't want it to be the whole plan. And if it is,
there's also a difference between blocking a ball while you're sliding across the box at the penalty spot, so that you are the literal last thing between the ball and the goal. And there's something about blocking a shot from the top of the box where if you don't get it, somebody else probably will.
Yeah, I'll leave it at.
We had literal Roman columns back at times.
I don't think that's the strategy, and I want that number. I want the shots blocked number to go down.
Can I give you guys an aside real quick? I got curious, and I pulled up the 2024 thing. Made me get like slightly curious about this, and I went down a rabbit hole about it earlier today too. So the post shot number that Eldon faced this year was 47.63.
Post shot XG.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell them what post shot XG is as opposed to XG?
Yeah, post shot XG is once the ball is hit, then it's how it's hit, placement. Mostly just placement
and
in the goal.
Where the keeper is, where the shot was taken, and the placement of the ball.
And a post-shot expected goal, in order for it to have any value, the shot must be on target. So expected goals includes, as we were talking about, shots that could go off target, which is why we talked about blocks and shots off target in our number there.
We are trying to talk about...
But post-shot expected goals...
In this phase, we're talking about like why it's a 90%.
Yes.
The post shot is a 90% number of the...
it's always... Well, not always. It's if you're doing well, if you're over indexing on yours, it's
and
probably...
I got to think about that more, like the relationship between post shot XG and XG. I'm going to go think about that.
All right.
Should meditate on it.
Yeah, I'm going to meditate on that.
So in 28 games in 2024, 28 games in 2025...
I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
The difference between the 2024 and 2025 post-shot expected goals for an entire season was 0.18. We fundamentally gave up the exact same amount of post-shot expected goals.
Felt like it
each season.
That's that 0.1?
0.18.
Yeah, okay, 0.2.
That's bananas. That's crazy. Now, how many goals did we allow last year?
More. A few more. I don't have it in front of me. But
remember, this is not this year versus last year, but that's fascinating.
No. Remember how we went through that table, and we was like, we were really high at like 21, and Chicago was at like 17 and a half. And then Cincinnati was at like 15.5. And then there was the massive drop to Philly at like 1.85.
A variance between, yes.
I will point out, and this is partially just to shout out Gene and John Burke. We would have been in 2024 numbers at 5.5 goals prevented between the post shot and which is in keeper work,
which is
great,
good,
which is pretty awesome.
It's good. I mean, 5 is good. We're going to hear a big number, a much bigger number here in a second.
All right, now let's talk about how we went from 100% to 90% in the post shot model.
Yeah.
to how we get to 36 goals allowed, which is that the difference between post-shot expected goals and the actual goals we conceded is 11.63.
It's basically 12 goals.
Yeah, I mean he stole 12 goals. I mean Eldon stole 12.
So there's a
goals.
mailbag question from Ian Webb about this. How many points would you estimate that as?
Okay, so I don't know how you guesstimate this, but I'm 12 goals. Saving 12 goals has got to be at least 3 games. It's got to be saving. It's got to be like giving you, I would say, 9 to 10 points that you would not have normally had.
I think
between a draw and between saving draws and getting wins.
I think you're underestimating things a bit. I think it's closer to like 5 or 6 games. Because you think about 2 expected goals a game.
Well, but 2 expected goals a game would be like 56.
It's 0.41.
It's 0.4. It's a half a goal a game.
He is literally saving from the
Yes,
post
but it doesn't
shot
happen. It doesn't happen. It doesn't break out like that.
Well, no.
No, I mean, no. But he's saving a half a goal a game. I think that's worth 3 or 4 games. I mean, I think it's worth 10 or 11 points.
There's definitely somewhere where they've done expected goals to
Just what's
expected
the
points.
percentage of our expected goal difference compared to hell? Actually, no. What's the difference between our expected post shot goal difference to our actual goal difference, like per game? So, like, if we're running, we were what? It's large. It's like minus right around 1, right?
in our actual.
Yeah, 34.8 to so it 18.39.
Buddy, it's 1.26 per game average to the negative.
What?
How can that be?
No, I'm sorry. I did the math wrong.
It's 0.6.
Your math is not
One point. Yeah, you're right.
It's
My bad,
0.66.
0.66.
So
I was looking at the wrong column.
So we are negative 0.66 goals per game, like down, right?
On the Opta stats, yes.
On the Opta per game in expected goals. So if you take that and you give us every single game 0.41, you slash our expected goal difference by 2/3. That's Eldon. Right there.
11.63 goals. So almost 12 goals prevented.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost a half a goal a game.
Yeah. There's
no consideration there for offensive good finishing, scoring on your first shot, which happened a lot. And
may it happen more.
May it happen more.
May it happen on many more shots.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know how many games it is.
28, actually.
But I think so. What we finished 4th. How many points did we finish out of missing the playoffs?
The amount that Eldon got us. Let me tell you that.
Carolina Core was at 39.
Actually, no. Actually, with
wait, I'm sorry.
Because the difference last year in this, if you actually take the difference in there, like there's about a 6-goal difference between last year's goalkeeping, which was very good, and this year's goalkeeping, which was unfucking stratospheric levels of crazy. Like there's about a 6-goal difference.
Yeah, it's so there's 15 points between our 53
and we missed the playoffs last year,
and Toronto's 38.
Okay,
who missed?
Yeah, and so I would say 12 of that is probably just Eldon.
12 points.
Mm-hmm. That's where I I have no idea how you kind of, but I would say that saved about 12 points. 1 point per expected goals.
I'm actually going to give a bigger point number there because he had 10 clean sheets.
Yeah.
And how many 0-0s do we play this year?
Oh, I don't know.
Philly and Cincinnati, to my knowledge. were the only both home games. I believe.
So you're saying you're counting those as 3 points apiece that he saved.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you start there and you're at both of those. We got a single point in from the shootouts.
I just don't even freaking count the shootouts. I don't even know how to bring that into the equation.
So like you're looking at, certainly it's a swing of. I mean, it only counts the points you get are the only points that actually matter, right? So like, it might just be a couple right there in each one of those. Yeah. You think about the Huntsville games alone, that's 9 points. Huntsville is literally 9 points. You take the
I
Philly.
just don't know how many of how much of the
you take Philly and Cincinnati.
Post-shot expected goals he earned in those 3 matches.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Do you know how many expected goals he faced? Just actual expected goals he faced in those 3 games?
I'm going to guess 3 games. I'm going to guess 7.5.
It was
8.2.
8.2. Yeah. 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 That's
those fucking losers.
That's about right.
So, okay.
I mean, that's what it felt like.
They control.
That's what it felt like for 270 minutes.
So for those that don't know, if you're not familiar with expected goals, generating 2 expected goals in a game is a damn good game.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a damn good game if you generate 2 expected goals. I wonder how many times Optus says we generated 2.
Now this league is a little bit different because
the Inter game
against Chicago, against Inter Miami, against Crown Legacy, it's 3 times we generated 2 expected goals. This year.
So if I just take 9 points from Huntsville and I take 2 points from Philly and Cincinnati, and I don't even bother to count the 2-sided Atlanta game. Or say, I don't know, the first half of New York City. Let's just leave that out. We got to 13 really fast.
I think it's somewhere between 12 and 15 points. I think it's either 4 or 5 wins. Or I mean, it's not all going to be wins. Obviously, some are going to be draws, whatever. Yeah. But
can I do like hottest of hot takes?
Because it's 12 points, and I just thought like at 2 expected goals being a really damn good game, and he saved that 6 times. Man, it's potentially so. We can't choose how they're distributed, but I think it's at least 12 points.
I could be underbaking it. I really don't know how you equate.
That's why it's a very fun question.
Post-shot XG, those saves to actual points. But
I'm gonna say it's 18.
But that would be the if you do it. I mean, 6
games.
6 games or some equivalent of 6. I could be talked into it. I don't know. I want to say that seems high.
Actually, what's the difference between our? What's just the difference between the post shot? If we took the post shot as the actual expected goals allowed, and we just took out we nuked that 10% difference, and we compared that to
it's 47.
What does that turn our expected goals table into?
Oh,
I'll tell you in a moment.
Because whatever that is, I'm taking every single point from then on.
Did us at 47 and then 36? That would have been 11, right?
Yeah.
By the way, that just does the exact same thing as removing Huntsville overall that I did. So I did a fun experiment. I removed the 3 games we played against Huntsville. I took away everything from them as if they didn't happen, and then I took away everything from us as if they didn't happen, just to see, because I was curious, if you took those 3 games out, which were insane games where we got dominated, outliers, like where did we end up? Huntsville would have been second in the goal difference table, just under Philly. If you completely took out the 8.2 goals they got against us.
Are you sure? I thought they would be just ahead.
No, they're just behind. If you take them out, not give them an average. You gave them an average because you were nice. I completely deleted them.
I see.
If you delete them from us, this is not reality land. We are then in 11th. So basically, our goal difference of 11, though, would have just put us into 11th. So if you take our post-shot expected goals as the real goal difference, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That also pushes
we are
us.
then just 11th.
So I can say without reservation, we do not have a home playoff game without.
We don't make
Eldon.
the playoffs.
But we may not. Yeah, we may not make the playoffs with that. With
I think
again another. Just remember
a league average goalkeeper.
A league average goalkeeper. Well, I mean, we had a pretty good goalkeeper the year before,
and we barely missed the playoff.
Okay,
And that
so
was 5. Or do we know that? What the difference between post shot? And
Yeah, he
XG?
5.5.
It was 5.5. So 5.5 is pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
But you may want to read that when you looked up what post shot XG meant, and they told you a little story about David De Gea's game.
I have it opened. I was wondering if I was going to get a chance to read this.
Yeah, because I mean, for the folks who want to say, okay, a post shot XG of 11, or
Okay,
difference
saving
between
12
11.6,
goals, like
what's the big deal? Hey, there were 28 games.
So a perfect example of this is explaining post-shot expected goals and judging goalkeepers, which the paragraph before this explained that you take the difference between actual goals conceded and the post-shot expected goals that were expected. A perfect example of this is David De Gea's remarkable 2017-2018 season, during which he kept 18 clean sheets, which, holy shit.
that's literally half.
Also, I wonder if
that's
Eldon was playing in the Premier League in
That's
this.
almost half the games. Yeah.
Throughout that campaign, the Spaniard, David De Gea, faced 39.7 goals worth of post-shot expected goals. However, he conceded only 28 goals, almost 12 less than expected.
Yeah.
Although playing behind a defense undeniably contributed to a solid defense undeniably contributed to his clean sheet statistic, this deficit of almost 12 goals must be attributed to the brilliance of De Gea
Right.
during that season.
Okay, so just stop there. Almost 12, and they're
38
lauding
games.
him.
By the way,
and
this
that's
is
30. Yeah, it's 38
this is considered
games.
one of the greatest seasons ever for a goalkeeper,
Was it
statistically.
2017, 2018?
Yes. Jan Oblak also had a similar season in a different year. I looked this up at one point. Those are like
Yeah.
this 12 goals in 38 games considered one of the greatest seasons ever
Yes.
statistically for a
And
goalkeeper.
Eldon did that in
28 games.
right, and so it is.
By the way, Eldon had 2 Premier League appearances that year.
Which explains a lot of what was going on this year, my friends.
Which
There are
I mean,
levels
yeah.
to this shit.
Yeah, which is, I mean, yeah. So this is, yeah. It's a little, it's otherworldly. I mean, I don't think it's outrageous to say that looking at that statistic, looking at his year statistically, I'll be surprised if I mean, maybe he's going to do the same thing this year, but I'll be surprised if any keeper approaches that for the remainder of time in MLS Next Pro. I mean, that's fucking insane.
It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. There's a reason he won goalkeeper of the year, and there's a reason not only made the playoffs but got a home
But when
game.
you hear that, you're like, why is he? Why did they have a meeting? I mean, did it really take a meeting to give the goalkeeper of the year to him?
It did take quite a while for them to come out with that. Hey, but also some good news that we haven't talked about.
But you know what we're doing? We are taking a place away from a young person who could be developing their soccer, and we are taking a spot away from a young person.
Jim, it turns out I like winning, and I really don't give a fuck about them kids. Fuck them kids.
I can't remember who said
Not
this.
our kids. I hope our kids get a chance to develop and play. But them kids in general across the league, fuck them.
So we finished at 53 points, right? I'm going to put a bow on this
Sure.
because I've done the math now. We finished at 53 points. If we move down to 11th, and there's a nice little spot where Orlando in 11th in the points table was on 37, so we moved them up to 10th, right? We'll keep New York City in 12th. They're at 35 points. So the point in between the two of them in the new fictitious 11th place is 36 points. What is 36 minus 53? Or 53 minus 36?
It's 17.
I think he got us 17 points.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you did there. Nice.
I mean, it's not out of the question.
Also, it's a mailbag question. These are just guesses, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not out of the question.
Okay.
But the gist of the whole
So the
in
goalkeeping was
summation,
good.
we gave up too many shots. I don't care if we blocked a lot of shots. We don't need to be blocking shots.
We gave up.
We need to be not having shots happen.
We gave up one more shot per game than
spoke-
we did last year.
What?
We gave up one more shot per game than we did last year.
One shot per game more.
It might have been 23.
Well, we gave up a ton last year.
Yeah.
And we gave up a ton more. I mean, I want shots to go down. Because you know what guarantees a person doesn't score more than a block?
Them not being able to shoot it?
The shot never happens. Because blocks go in. They're called deflections.
So do non-shots occasionally. They're called own goals.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so
if our own goals go way up and our blocks go down, that's not exactly what I'm looking for.
No. So I will also say the thing we haven't said yet is as of today, what was it? The 21st, so 3 days ago, Eldon, the guy we're talking about, literally saving our season, not alone, but in large part, has re-signed.
He re-signed. I like the graphic with him with somebody signing in the gloves.
The announcement fucking ruled. That and the McGrath announcement both.
I want that.
So we knew about the Alex announcement. We knew about Alex because he was included in.
So cool. I want it put on the wall.
I know. I want it on my wall. You have all this.
I gotta get more things.
He was included in the returners in the initial release. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Like
we talked about it on the pod.
He's now under contract.
Yeah.
And now, like the actual like announcement that he's back, a thing that we knew he was under contract. We know that it's a 2+1, which is
new,
awesome,
which is
new and new. Yeah,
fucking rules.
I'd be okay with giving him equity in the club. We do a messy deal, like
for Eldon or for
both
for McGrath. Yeah. Also, one of my favorite parts about this whole release, both those releases, absolutely ruled. Let me unmute this for a second.
Just a quick message. I'm back.
I love that was it. I'm back.
You need to be wearing
so good.
He
should,
glasses.
yes.
Yeah, glasses.
So good. So Alex is back, and Alex is on a long-term deal, 2-1. Let's fucking go. Absolutely love that.
I hope that means that like his leg, he has healed really well, and
exactly,
he is like 100%.
Exactly.
I would not estimate he's 100% this second.
No, not now, but when he plays.
Oh yeah.
I would think that he's got to be progressing well for them to commit like that.
Yeah, I hope just for him he's progressing
for sure, well. And we need him. We missed him massively. And then Eldon being back, we don't have to expect that he's going to be Superman.
I don't want Eldon to be as busy.
Buddy,
I want
agree.
Eldon to be bored.
Okay, so
it's a hot take, but I agree.
So like for the rest of this podcast, because that's an interesting place, I think there's two things I want to do. Number one, let's cover the other signings.
We have two more signings.
And then...
Oh, yeah, because it's related. One's related.
Yeah, and then let's talk about the offensive side of the ball.
That won't take long.
Because...
Jesus, Jim.
Because we finished...
I hope there's no players listening to this. I hope they turned it off.
We finished 10th.
Listen, they passed out. They're asleep.
We finished 10th in the Eastern Conference in goals scored. We finished third. Third bottom is 13th in the Eastern Conference in expected goals scored, which is making company with Columbus Crew and Inter Miami.
Who beat us 3-0.
I was going to say the same thing.
Who finished
I was at that game. It sucked.
Jesus Christ.
Who finished 14th and 15th in the Eastern Conference, and it wasn't particularly close. And we're the ones keeping them company.
We gave them like 80% of their points.
Yeah, the good part about that game was
it was we were still drunk from the night.
Home safely.
We were still drunk from the night before.
We had so much alcohol in so many different bars before that game and after that game. It was a lovely weekend.
You were discounting the amount of drinks we had at the MLS game the night before.
Yes, I was discounting because I forgot we went to the game. That was also very fucking fun.
I have never rooted harder in my life for a team wearing yellow.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a really good time. I would like the Columbus road trip again.
Yeah, that was a blast. Okay, so let's talk about players. We got an announcement. Spoiler alert, today, recording day is Monday, November 24. We got an announcement this afternoon.
That's right.
that Griffin Huff,
I wish I had a Harry Potter sound effect for Griffin Huff.
goalkeeper, has signed
Let's go.
for CFC. Lafayette College, Lexington.
Thank you, Lexington.
Lexington SC.
If it's anything like our last signing from Lexington, he's going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
He was with their PDL squad this summer. He also stayed and was training with the first team.
I wonder if he was their third keeper. I wonder if do they have a third rostered keeper? You don't have to look, but if you don't know, but I'm wondering.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Last year we signed JP Philpott, who was Birmingham's third keeper. It's possible this year we signed Lexington's third keeper.
I don't think he was ever actually officially rostered. So,
Well, still, thanks. Thanks, Lexington.
Absolutely, thank you, Lexington. Welcome home, Griffin. Can't wait to see you.
they just did their roster decisions today. So, I was on their website, but I don't know how many keepers they were carrying.
No worries.
The other one, he might have been. They've only got 2 keepers listed.
If you have 2 keepers and they stay healthy all year, you don't have to roster your third one.
Yeah, that's probably what he was there for. That's interesting.
Hell yeah.
All right.
It would also make more sense that we would sign a guy that has a little bit of pro experience, even if he didn't play in a pro environment all year.
The last one that we haven't talked about is a new one to us. It's left back Anton Sorensen.
Yeah. Again, I'll say it again. It's the CFC version of the spinal tap drummer, the left back position.
Very important.
I don't know what the spinal tap drummer is.
They always exploded. They always died.
Well, that's comforting.
Jeez, Jim.
Anton
Happy vibes.
is 22 years old. Left back. He played previously the last 2 years at Charlotte Independence in League One.
I noticed Nick Spielman commented on
Did he?
the announcement saying, "Take care of my boy" or something like that, which, hell yeah. Love the little CFC connection there between Nick and now Anton.
Yeah. And
Is that Anton?
They've been calling him Anton and all the things. His name is Anthony.
Yeah.
At least what, yeah. But I guess maybe his nickname is, I don't know.
Well, I have it in quotes, so.
yeah, it doesn't really matter. So we've got
Now Matthew's sick of us.
Well, it's been an hour and 40 minutes?
interesting.
Hour and 14.
Interestingly,
we talked a lot before.
Anton was at Philadelphia Union in their 2 team for the 2 years prior to his 2 years in Charlotte. And I mean, he's got 119 professional appearances in this country.
Hell yeah.
He'll turn 23 in January.
I love this.
I think he's a former Philadelphia Union homegrown.
But he's got stories.
And
It's a good academy.
Yes, it is a good academy.
And yeah, so Philly Union 2 for a couple of years, Charlotte for a couple of years. Now he comes to CFC. He looks.
I cannot find any highlights. That's the only thing I'm upset about with this signing at all, is I can't find a fucking highlight package. I want to know what he plays like. I didn't watch any League One.
The Independents, you can't go back and watch.
You might be able to on ESPN Plus.
Because
They have full replays.
they have full replays.
And so do we, the last 7 games of the season or whatever that we were on YouTube.
It's true. So, yeah,
Can we get replays now that we're like, we I want to talk to you guys after about the Apple stuff. But anyway,
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm curious
I
too about the
digress.
Apple stuff.
I digress.
yeah. So we will try to look up some stuff on Anton, and I have seen a couple clips from some goal involvements he's been in.
Thank you for sending them to me.
So
This guy knows I like highlights, and he didn't send me a single one of those.
and I think anyway, I'll be interested to get a fuller picture of the type of player he is. on this podcast, everybody knows I'm going to say it. Personnel is policy, right?
Charlotte made the playoffs, right?
Yes, they finished 8th in the League One, which is like you get in the playoffs because we want to have 3 rounds of playoffs, even though there's 9 teams.
Don't do this. 8th place is a great place. He'll be very familiar with where we're going to finish next year.
Jesus.
So 5. So he's left-footed.
Yeah, he's predominantly a left back.
I love this for a couple reasons. Number one, I love ex-Philly Union guys. Like, sign me up for that because like their academy is very fucking good. And so if you've played in that academy and then went pro out of that academy, I assume you're good. Second, I have said on this podcast and elsewhere, but I'll say it again. I think one thing we need to do is get the best sets of 21 to 24-year-olds we can who are good and want to be like playing at a higher professional level, but for whatever reason, a 2 team doesn't fit them because there's a 16-year-old their same position that's like higher ceiling, or maybe they're just not quite good enough to make the MLS or whatever it is. Like this age profile wise, and guy that has a lot of pro experience at a young age, love that. Like I love this based on those things. We'll see how he is. I've never watched him play, but this makes me very excited. It's the type of guy that makes me very excited, a type of pedigree that makes me very excited. And there's going to be a lot of guys, I hope, coming on in this offseason with similar pedigrees, I'm hoping. Guys that are young with a lot of minutes, that have played a lot of pro ball, so they're ready to go, and that hopefully have high ceilings.
And we can talk about towards the end about the types of things that we're hoping to see as we move out of 2025 into 2026, because Jim said it about 45 times in this podcast. We gave up a lot of shots.
Yeah.
And we didn't
I didn't say it as many times
take
as the
enough
shots we gave up.
Take enough shots. Right? So let's talk about the offensive side of the ball now.
Okay.
Because finishing 3rd in the Eastern Conference for goals, expected goals for, is not awesome.
3rd.
I'm sorry, 3rd to the last.
Thank you. There's a little difference.
It's not awesome. And in this league, no matter what you do, this is what I was getting at before. No matter what you do in this league defensively, teams are going to find a way to get shots off on you. They're going to find a way to create stuff. And this year, we were overly reliant on one man from the planet Krypton
And 4 legs.
with 4 legs, 4 arms,
No, that's what I'm talking about.
and a Bosnian accent, who just turned 41 years old. And the question I think that we are asking ourselves, that would be natural for a listener or viewer to ask themselves, and one that I would assume anyone who gets a paycheck from CFC would ask themselves, was what happened last year, was Eldon's performance last year, was that run of the mill for who Eldon is in this league? Did he go on some insane heater, or have we not even seen the heights that he could be?
Yeah, it's hard for me. It's just 12 those stats. It's hard for me to believe that he's got another level above that. I guess we'll find out. If he does, more power to him. But
I'd like to go back to Jim's point. I'd like to not concede so many expected goals, so that he
wanna-
doesn't
I
have
wanna
to be.
find out.
Also, like I saw him after many games, both on the field and a little bit off the field, and he looked tired. Not because he's 41. Like he's definitely in good shape and prepared, but I think he had to do a lot of fucking work in these games, and offensively,
it's between the ears work. It's like positioning and
and then he made the most saves in the league. He had to do way too much physical work too.
yeah.
I think, I don't know what we've seen. I tend to think there's a reason that guys don't perform this well. It is crazy to think he's going to repeat this.
But we're talking about offense, right?
But go to offense now. Like,
'Cause I was
wondering where he was going with this.
I think it's clear
That we need to create more offense
Yes.
to take pressure off. We need to be able to have the ball a little bit more.
yes.
And we also need to be able to, I know Matthew agrees with this, we need to be able to win the ball up the field and turn it into offense so that the ball is not constantly like going and restarting from our 18 because that's where the ball was. We need to be able to win it up top. And losing Alex McGrath was a problem this year because he's definitely a guy that could break up the ball, break up game in the midfield a lot. But like offensively, I want to see us be a little more athletic next year and be able to get a little more vertical. And you saw it towards the end of the year. Anthony gave us a whole new vertical kind, and Anthony Yuval gave us a lot more verticality. But yeah, where were you going offensively?
Yeah, so we were third worst in the Eastern Conference in expected goal difference.
The way he says these things just nonchalantly.
In expected goals scored. And in this league, you are going to give up stuff, right? So Eldon goes on a heater because we gave up some stuff. And he, did awesome things. And that really papered over. This is where I'm going with it.
Okay.
Eldon's 2025 papered over an inability from the 2025 team to be able to create chances pretty much at all. And certainly not of a home playoff team. Expected value for a home playoff team. And it papered over our inability to get the ball. Like, we ceded possession at an unbelievable rate. We're at 41%, right? We said that off the top of the podcast.
Did anyone have the ball less than us this year?
No.
But that's not in and of itself terrible if that's how you've set up to play. Because it's not about possession, it's about control. And you can still have control of a game if you don't have the ball 60% of the time.
I agree mostly with that. But what I'll
I
say
don't
is
like it. I mean, we've talked about this before. You guys probably don't even remember this conversation about would you rather play beautiful football or would you rather win?
I want to win.
Well, win, please.
Which, by the way, is exactly what we did this year.
But if you think about it, so we know we didn't create chances at the level we wanted to.
Yeah.
At the level of even par in this league. We also know that we did not have the ball very much at all. Mm-hmm.
But it's where the other team has the ball that concerns me more.
I don't think we want to look at touches in our box.
And that's what I'm talking about. So that's the loss.
So that tells me that we were unable to win the ball high up the field, which tracks because we didn't exactly try to press very much.
No, at most we did like a midfield, like a mid block.
A mid block.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there are a couple of good reasons for that. I don't think we were very good at pressing. I don't think we had the personnel to go out and press.
Quick enough.
We weren't athletic enough. And I think if you look at our midfield, at that same sort of way, I think we were best when we had a lot of numbers back. Because more numbers, more bodies just meant that it was harder to break us down. Right? Mm-hmm. I think if you go back and look at the tape, when we would get, when we got isolated, or when teams were able to get into transition on us, things were extremely terrifying. Think about, this is incredibly recency bias, but think about what the two moments in the playoff game against Huntsville. Both of those goals come in part because a single player or some nice little team interplay was just able to get in behind and destabilize things.
His name is Christian Kofi.
We were unable when we were really, really good, we were stable, we were compact, we were bunkered in a lot. When things got stretched, we were really, really porous. And I think in a lot of ways that explains how little of the ball we had towards the end of the season, because the model of just like sitting back, taking a set piece, and then trying to hold on and keep pressure high up the field for larger stretches than just, one corner or one possession. Like, we were able to influence the game a little bit there, but we could not, in this league especially, we could not get into a back and forth game. Because those are the types of games that we, like with that group of personnel, we're not set out to do.
Yeah.
Like an open.
If the game gets open.
Like classic 2000s Bundesliga. Pew, 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 up and down.
Like, when the game gets open, like, and you see these games in Next Pro all the time, right? Our games don't get open.
Every game Chicago played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so even in that game that Chicago played, where we were actually pretty good offensively, we created a lot of stuff.
It was our highest XG of the season. Pretty sure.
And we lost it. Like, there is something to us playing our particular brand of football that I don't think is necessarily explained in the analytics. But the results bore out that we were better when we played the game on our terms.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much goes for any team. You want to dictate. You want to be able to dictate the
as you
pace.
said, control isn't necessarily about possession.
No, it is not. And you can control a match, and the other team has 70% possession, but
they do the whole horseshoe in the back.
Right. Yes, the whole horseshoe of death. The problem I've got is, and I don't know these numbers, but like you said, I don't probably want to look at touches inside the 18. I probably don't want to look at possession inside
touches in the final third. Yeah.
Because it just seemed too easy for the opposition to get into dangerous areas, and that to me is about forwards coming back and defending, and the midfield doing their job, so that it applies less pressure on the back four and the keeper.
Yeah. So as what we want to see, I'd like us to. I think we need some personnel that can change a game physically at the winger spot.
Yeah,
in the midfield a little bit.
This is 2 years in a row that we are just not athletic. Now, we got more athletic towards the end of the season.
You saw it. We signed a bunch of 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
Who could run, and we signed Gavin, who was 18 and could run.
The age profile got younger.
Mm-hmm.
The types of players, like Luke, though not not like super fast type of athletic. Luke Yuzuki is 6'2". Like, he was a presence physically.
Yes. Yeah, he was. And we looked at the stats last time, and he was like, he's in the little bit of time he played with us, he had really good defensive statistics in terms of.
We were asking him to do stuff, and he did stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You look at like a guy like Anthony Garcia, more athletic than
very fast,
more athletic than some of the other wingers that were on the team, and then like saw their minutes dry up over the course of the season. You look at a guy like Yuval Cohen, who just immediately slotted in and was just more of a league average athlete, right? And so I think there's a couple of things to watch out for, or a couple of things that I want to see and that I will be watching out for. I should clarify this. Can we win the ball higher up the field?
Yes.
Because every team in this league
plays out of the back. Well, not every team. Philly doesn't much. Red Bull don't. Everybody else does.
Okay. Well, don't look at Red Bull's possession stats, but pretty much every team plays out of the back, at least in some way, shape, or fashion, and certainly against us. Everyone played out of the back against us.
Oh, we've talked about it before. Like, you want to have in this league, if we're going to win, you want to be able to go attack the ball when possible because these teams are going to put down the ball and play. Yes, they want to win, but also they want to develop. And development is 1A and winning is 1B. And that matters for us because for us, winning is 1, development is 3, and there's nothing at 2. And so, like, that's not true. That's a little unfair, but it's
winning with style is 2. Winning
with style.
is 2.
Yeah, I mean, like, development, like, it matters on some level, but you have to be good enough, whereas these teams will make sacrifices for development, and that's one of the reasons you see some really good teams by the end of the year because they develop and they have some real talent. But I think we, like you're saying, have to be able to go get the ball. We've talked about it on this podcast. We have not the last 2 years been able to really go get the ball. Last year, we reduced chances by controlling the game with possession, but we gave up a lot of pretty good chance when we fell apart. Like, we fell apart.
Yeah.
And then this year we kept defensive solidity and Superman Eldon, which was our way of control. But next year, my hope is we can see more versions of control because both of those things like resulted in us having a far more expected goals conceded than we had expected goals created. And we've got to get somewhere. Like, if Eldon is Superman and we're even on those two and Eldon's Superman, we're fucking real good.
Right.
But we're nowhere close to even. And so I want to see, and I think you're going this general direction too, like some players that, not exclusively players that can go win the ball, but it's, as a part of roster building and personnel as policy, you got to have some personnel that can go win the ball and they can turn things over and they can, if they're going to play out of the back, can punish those errors and those mistakes or those bad judgment and turn the ball over and get some goals.
Yeah.
Because if we can get 1 and then sit back for a minute and then get 2, that's a lot better than only getting 1 and being under it for a while, then conceding 1 or conceding 2.
There is there's like a general, like if you listen to some coaches, not all coaches, but if you listen to some coaches talk about like if they want to bitch about refereeing or something like that, they oftentimes look at possession numbers and then the number of fouls called in each direction and say, oh, well, we had 60% possession, but we're getting called for more fouls. Like, that's crazy. And like, sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's not. It doesn't really matter. But typically speaking, you kind of expect, with some variance in here, you kind of expect fouls and possession to be a little bit correlated. Mm-hmm. Like, if you have 60% of the ball, you just have more opportunities throughout the game to be fouled, right, compared to your opponent who has the ball for 40%, has just significantly less amount of time to be fouled. Like, that's not completely 1-to-1, but it is a thing that sometimes happens. We were dead last in possession in the league, right? We were only like 7th or 8th in fouls committed. And one of the things that
so we couldn't even get as we could get close enough to them to foul them.
My theory,
saying?
I'm serious. Like, my theory there is that our athletic profile of the team, which partly I think was the reason why we had to set up the way we did, was such that we couldn't effectively press because we couldn't get there to make challenges in the press. If we tried, we couldn't recover in time. And so, like, you just don't press and you just keep a lot of bodies back all the time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If you look at our forward and winger line, and this is large part of the season, not, specifically to the last 2 months or whatever, we weren't quite as athletic as I think we need to be. I think if you look in central midfield, we weren't as athletic as we probably need to be. And both of those things happening, meaning and teams at this level can all play and do all want to play. And when it starts to really come off after the first 10 games of the season, when they really start getting that fluidity in their play, even for relatively young teams in this league, you see a situation where you can't, like, you're just physically not in a position to foul or make a challenge on the ball. And if you can't do that in the forward line and you can't do that in the midfield line, well, someone's got to fucking do it in the defensive line. Otherwise, and this goes back to the thing we've been talking about all day, it's a shot going the other direction.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we gave up too many shots.
Mm-hmm.
We happened to have a guy who was literal Superman.
Shot stopper.
It was like, you can't tell me it was not part of the plan. Like, we knew this was going to happen. Like, the plan in some ways was you're just going to have to allow the shot. And if you have 3 lines of players back there, that player is going to put it off target. That player is going to have it blocked. And if it does happen to get through, that's what Eldon's there for.
I'm not sure we planned for it in the off season, but I do think at a certain point in the season we started planning for it.
Yeah, maybe I would give you that. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I think the last time, I don't know, it was the last time we talked to her. We need to be better in the tackle. We need to be better. We need to be better one-on-one defending, and that involves getting close enough to the people to be able to do that.
And I'm one of those people.
I think that will switch. I think that will kickstart offense. I mean, if you can break up play in the midfield and you can then turn and turn that into a chance. You don't need to possess the ball 60% of the time to do that. You're basically playing a counter kind of a game, which I think is fine. But in order to do that, you better be quick and athletic on the outside, and you better have a number 9 who can occupy 2 center backs.
Or 2 9s.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with 4-4-2.
No.
Live a little.
No. I think 4-4-2 is a great defensive defensive formation.
I told this to Breezy. God, it's probably been a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I think I'm setting a target for next season of 46% possession that I want to see. And I don't want that possession to be like the type of possession that you take because you want to have some rest defense possession. I don't want it to be at all in or more possession in the ball passing between center backs.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I want the entire 4 or 5% more possession per game. I want that to be exclusively in winning the ball at our 40-yard line. So like just beyond the center circle.
40-yard line.
Hell yeah, dude.
Just beyond the center circle, like in our defensive half.
Yeah.
From there, winning the ball from there to the opposition goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think.
And then what we do once we win the ball and do something with it, I want like all of our extra possession to be there.
Yeah, I think everything we've said is talking about moving the kind of the center of action further away from our goal.
Yeah.
I mean, just.
But if we do that, if we are able to like start the line of confrontation higher,
right,
your defensive line is going to become higher.
Yes.
That's going to require, in this league especially, more athleticism up front.
Yes.
And I mean like defensive
Correct.
athleticism up front.
I know.
That's going to require more athleticism out wide. That's going to require more athleticism centrally in midfield.
Well, it's everywhere.
And then when all of those things break down, and they sometimes will, we're probably going to need to get more athletic in the defensive line.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt we are. I mean,
So here's where I'm going with this. We talked about Anton Sorensen. One of the things I want a highlight package for, and I will probably just start seeing if ESPN Plus happens to have Charlotte Independence games from this year.
That was a good point. I didn't think about that.
I want to see what kind of player he is.
Yeah.
Because right? Like we just signed a left back. Like let's just talk about it. We just signed a left back. Milo, our starting left back for 2 years, was in the negotiations pile during roster decisions. I have no idea, like, if this signing means that, Milo's not coming back. I have no idea. But for as long as we have a left back on the roster and our starting left back from the last 2 years is not on the roster, I think it will be interesting to take what we know about Milo's game, how he likes to play, his skill set, what he's good at, what he's not good at. Compare it to someone like Anton Sorensen and see, does this tell us anything about how
where
we
we're
might
going.
be planning on playing? And then we'll take other signings that have not been announced or done even and see, okay, how do those fit in? Are we... Like, because from what little I know about Anton Sorensen, he seems more athletic than someone like Milo. Right? I don't know, like, exactly how. He's a little bit shorter. Probably closer to 5'8".
5'7".
5'7", 5'8", somewhere in there.
I did notice that. Actually, I'll read the quote. Keep going.
And so, like, that's one thing. Like, that if is that a more athletic left back? Okay. Like, could that... Like, what does that mean? One signing, you really can't know anything like that. You got to wait until there's 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. Like, you know what I mean? But that's the thing I want to watch for. Because there are goals in this league available to teams that can win the ball in their attacking third.
Yeah.
Even attacking half. We did it twice this year. Both were in the first 8 games, I think. So that's where I'm at.
Breezy.
I was trying to figure out if there's some. There's a Sebastian quote in one of these, but oh well.
It's an Anton's, right?
That's what I was looking for. So he says he's very good on the ball, very controlled, comfortable under pressure, and he's great going forward in 1v1s. He has some good positional sense for defending. He has for our backline with some different qualities than what we had this year. So I do wonder, it says different qualities than what we had. Obviously, Milo's a very good player. I do wonder if they've chosen, can't know without watching, to try to get more athletic. It's just hard to know for sure.
I would
hope so.
I would wager, because we were not very athletic, comparison to the rest of the league. I guess you can squabble on how exactly not we were, but like we weren't very athletic.
Certainly, and if the way you and I tend to couch athleticism, ability to cover ground on the field, ability to make it run around. It's usually speed. It's not exclusively speed, but it's often speed.
Quickness.
We
Quickness and speed.
started out the year, especially then with the Alex injury. We started off the year like really, really less athletic than everybody else. Pretty much that we played.
Least also works.
We made a concerted effort to pretty much every single player that we brought in post Alex's injury. You think about Colin Thomas, like what was like Colin really known for amongst us? Like running around, like doing all kinds of running, going in behind, like putting pressure on the ball. Anthony Garcia did the same sort of thing. Luke, when he signed, less of a running thing because he was more of an anchor 6, but like physical presence and profile. Gavin Turner ran around a lot.
Covered all sorts of ground.
Right?
Yuval Cohen covered all sorts of ground.
Covered all kinds of ground, and it gave someone like Keegan the opportunity to play as a more physical winger.
Yep. Keegan also very good athlete.
Yeah.
Covered all sorts of ground. Yeah. Bullies guy. So he was wonderful.
Just in those those types of signings, we saw an ability. I think we saw something that we needed to do with, literally signing number 1 for off season. It looks like that is continuing. Now, is that how far are we going to go? Like, this is the question for the offseason for me. Do we go full terror ball?
Does it make us win?
I think in this league, it probably gives you the best chance to. Because nobody else is really going to do it. Like Philly and Red Bulls might. Although Red Bulls might be going in a new direction. Red Bulls new...
define for me terror ball.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
You talk about Route 1?
Not necessarily Route 1.
Counter press?
Maybe some counter pressing. Maybe some outright pressing. But like, when I think of terror ball, I think of, I don't want to beat you with 20 passes. I want to beat you with 3 passes.
Yeah.
I want to take the ball in your half.
Play direct.
And I want to win the ball,
with,
make the first pass, make the second pass, tap in. Because I'd rather attack against 4 defenders.
I was sitting here thinking, I wonder like the longest series of passes before a goal for us was last year.
Good question. I have no idea.
Like how many passes?
2024 or 2025?
25.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think so you're talking about whatever that number is, kind of reducing that. You're talking about.
He would like to muck up the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be the hardest team to play against.
You want to turn defense into quick offense.
Did you watch any Philly besides when they played us?
No.
Philly. I watched the Philly New Jersey Red Bulls game in the playoffs, and like those two teams just kept colliding in the midfield the entire game. Same with Huntsville. By the way, Philly destroyed Huntsville, and by destroyed, I mean Huntsville couldn't get to do their horseshoe of death where they like constrict you and eventually score, or do whatever. But like Huntsville had the best expected goals in the league, and the best expected goals against, like in the East. And also they didn't win because it doesn't make you win. There's a ton of variance. I was looking at all those. There's a ton of variance of where people finished, but including us. But like they are absolute terrorists in the midfield. They constant running, constant pressure, do not let you ever build. If they need to foul you, they'll foul you, but you don't get the ball forward easily, and it's so hard.
Yeah. But they also possess the ball quite a bit.
Philly can possess the ball, but Philly can be real terrorists.
Huntsville.
No, Huntsville are not terrorists. Huntsville are very idealist. So the football meta, the soccer meta in the world is going more because possession has been so dominant for so long. Like many more teams are playing without the ball and choosing to play without the ball. And it's very interesting. But like playing with the ball, obviously the best teams in the world, many of them still play with the ball, right? But many other teams are opting more so than previous years, especially in the Premier League, are opting to not play with the ball. And it is interesting. And I think it does show a way you can beat teams that want to have the ball. And everyone in this league almost wants to have the ball. The fact that I can name the few teams that don't want to have the ball.
Most of MLS itself wants to have the ball.
Yeah.
And like at varying shades of how much they want the ball. But not all of them want to have the ball.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like MLS is still a selling league, right? They want to be a better league than they are, but they're still, even being a better league than they are, they're still mostly going to be like a selling league. Because even the terrorists in the Premier League need center backs that are really, really good with the ball. They might just be less good at Southampton than they are at Manchester City.
By the way,
but they're still really good with the ball compared to a
real
Nashville or a Chicago or whatever.
Yeah.
Newcastle are some real soccer terrorists.
So like,
yeah, well, they're actual terrorists.
So teams in Next Pro. If you're developing,
they just fund the terrorists.
Okay.
So if you're developing players in Next Pro for an MLS team, you're still going to want those players to be comfortable playing with the ball.
And I have no problem if
everyone
the other team
has
has the ball. It's just where do they have it?
And by the way, I want all of our players in an ideal world to also be comfortable with the ball.
Sure.
I just want them to be very comfortable and most often doing specific things like winning the ball and then making a great pass very, very far to somebody else.
Yeah, I just don't want them dribbling around in acres of space in my favorite area, zone 14. I don't want them, I want our DMs to be there wrecking shit.
Here's something I want to know, and I'm not going to be able to know it, but I'm going to leave it here because I think it's probably time to wrap this up.
Sounds about right.
I
We really
would be,
haven't talked too much about offense, so that's probably
We really
Well,
haven't talked much
we-
in this podcast at all.
I would be curious what our average time of possession in a possession that led to a goal
yeah.
was in 2024.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I would be curious what that was in 2025. And I would be really curious if we can get whatever that number is down to like
You want to go down?
6 seconds in 2026.
This man doesn't want the ball.
Yeah.
No.
wants
Well, I mean,
no.
it's-
I want the ball. I want it for a very specific small set of time where I win it. I do one thing with it. And the second thing is scoring a goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want us. I just want us to control the game better.
Yeah.
I want us to have more game control. I want, which means I
want you to be so terrified of playing against us, you would rather give it to our keeper.
well, to me that means our front line has got to have that. We have to start. Our defense starts at our striker,
Yeah.
and I want the team to play that way. I want us to run basically a mid block and counter press when we see. I don't know what the triggers are going to be, but we need to have triggers. I'm sure we did. Hopefully,
Of course we did.
I want to have triggers, and I want us to turn the ball over quickly, and I want us to keep the ball out of our defensive third.
I'll settle for year one of terrorism. I'll settle for the box. Keep the ball out of the box.
Keep the ball out of the box.
I'm going to, as we wrap this up, I'm going to go a different way of you guys. I just want an roughly even within 2 goals, goal difference, expected goal difference.
That I definitely want to see that number not be minus 18.
Which I think,
I will prefer if we win games, to be clear.
Oh, what I'm saying is I don't give 2 shits how we win. I just want to win.
Well, I
and
think
Eldon is back, and if you get us within striking distance of even,
But statistically speaking, like we gotta make different strides now.
give up fewer shots.
Take more shots.
Take more shots that are
Good shots.
yeah. I mean, well, this is really take good shots, prevent shots. We're really
You guys
At
are
the,
real.
at the end of the
we're really
day,
digging the depths
at
of,
the end of the day,
analytics.
the analysis in this podcast, which you
analytics
come
in
here
soccer,
Score more goals, give up fewer goals,
analytics in soccer,
win trophies.
with nerds talking about spreadsheets where the game is played, ultimately come down to the most like anti-woke shit possible in soccer, which is, I think we should give up fewer shots. I think we should take more shots,
I want more goals from the front line.
and they
From
should
the
be
front
good
three.
shots.
I want more goals from the front 3. I want players to be afraid of carrying the ball into their offensive third, our defensive third.
Are you saying a right back probably shouldn't be our leading scorer?
No,
all
he should-
praise Tate
Should
Robertson.
not be our no, it should not be. I want to see
maybe we should move him to striker.
I want to see
Okay.
dual numbers.
He was,
both.
he was a winger in college.
Oh, he could be a striker for us.
I want to see dribbles prevented. I want to see great dual numbers both on the ground and in the air from our defenders.
I'd like another home playoff game.
And hopefully that gives us a home playoff game. And
Listener,
a trophy.
fuck yeah, give me a trophy.
Why not? I mean, it's what month are we in? November?
Trophy next year.
That's right.
Listeners, viewers, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, fuck me.
Bless
You
you.
are a wild person, and we love you very much. We will be back, hopefully with some interviews, and definitely talk about some signings when they come through. Happy Thanksgiving for everyone based in the U.S. that celebrates, and we will catch up with you soon. Peace.